I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, Matthew. And for tonight's invocation, we have Pastor Frissell.
Thank you for letting me participate in this way tonight. And I just think all of our hearts have been broken the past week with young Phoebe's death Wednesday. And I'll mention that in my prayer tonight, praying for her family. Father in heaven, I come to you tonight with gratefulness in my heart, grateful for the provision of grace you've made available to all of us. And in Jesus Christ, thank you for the challenge of this year, which draws us close to you. I'm grateful for the opportunity which brings us here together tonight. Thank you for these elected officials, for each department head and staff member, and for every one of our city's public safety servants. We pray that you protect them tonight as they serve us. We especially think of the family of Phoebe Elliott tonight. Give grace to them as they grieve the death of this young lady. Strengthen Lisa Capps as she recovers from her injuries. We pray for the family as they prepare for visitation in the next couple of days and for the funeral on Saturday. We pray that each person will find your grace in Christ. Please give perspective and insight to the discussions that take place here tonight in this meeting. Give good judgment and good decisions in each one that is made. We thank you for each person undertaking their role in our city council and the ways they serve in this meeting. For our mayor, we thank you for your providence in placing them here. We long to see Allen Park to be a great place to live and learn, to work, worship, and a great place to play. And may you grant grace in this meeting as a means to this end, I pray. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. Thank you. Before we move on to the roll call, I know that Tracy mentioned Phoebe. I would just like us to take an additional few minutes silence. As most of you probably know by now, I knew the family. It was rather strange last Wednesday to wake up and not find my News Herald on the front porch, and it wasn't until later that evening that I realized why it wasn't there. And so if we could just take a minute, please. Thank you. Michael, if you would take the roll call, and we have to remember that when we're doing this, we have to state the city where we're currently participating.
Yeah, you have to state that you're remotely and then in the city. Thank you, Mayor.
Thank you.
All right, Councilman Blevins.
Here remotely in Allen Park.
Mayor Pro Tem Lally. Oh, I'll go back to him. I'm going off my roll call list. Sorry. Councilman Schlack.
Present remotely in Allen Park.
Okay, Councilman Valerius.
Present remotely, Allen Park.
Councilwoman Syke.
Here, remotely in Allen Park.
Pro Tem Lally, or Councilman Lloyd.
Here, remotely, Allen Park, Michigan.
Thank you. And Pro Tem Lally, third time.
Third time. You're in remotely in Allen Park, Michigan.
Okay, and Mayor McLeod.
Here remotely, Allen Park, Michigan.
All right, thank you, Mayor. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. May I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
Motion Blevins.
Motion by Blevins.
Second, Mayor
Second
Pro
by
Tem
Lally.
Lally.
Are there any corrections? If not, we vote to approve tonight's agenda.
Okay, Mayor, I have a motion by Blevins, supported by Lally, to approve the agenda for February 9th, 2021 as presented. Shall this resolution pass? Councilman Blevins.
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
Mayor McLeod.
Yes.
Councilman Schlack.
Yes.
Councilman Syke.
Yes.
And Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The motion is successful.
Thank you. May I have a motion to approve the minutes from the regular meeting of January 26th?
Motion Valerius.
Motion by Valerius.
Second Schlack.
Second by Schlack. Are there any corrections? If none, can you take the vote, please?
All right, Mayor, we have a motion by Councilman Valerius, supported by Councilman Schlack to approve the minutes for the regular meeting of January 26, 2021. Shall this resolution pass? Pro Tem Lally.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
Mayor McLeod.
Yes.
Councilman Schlack.
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke.
Yes.
Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
And Councilman Blevins.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The motion is passed.
Thank you. And now we move on to Mr. Kibbe's report.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I usually had started off and I would say, Allen Road bridge was open and then it was supposed to be closed. And I thought I was going to be prepared to say it was closed for a period of time, and I drove through it today. It's wide open. I have no answer. I asked Tom, and Tom said he talked to somebody at the DCC meeting this morning, and it was Ron, who is now taking over because Elizabeth, what was her name?
Elizabeth Taylor.
Elizabeth Taylor is no longer with the county. She's moved on to Oakland County, so they have some change over there. So as I wrote here, was scheduled to close. As soon as we find out, we'll let everybody know via the Facebook page, via the website, and we'll keep trying to find out what the status is. But my guess, talking to Tom, we both kind of came to the same conclusion here was with the weather predicted to be so cold this week and into early next week, they may have just decided to delay instead of having the crews out there and then shut down after a period of a couple of days. I'm hoping that's the case, but we need to get a definitive answer from them. So on the DPS facility project, the two entrances at to the garage building have been poured. So they've got 5 total. I think they've now have 3 out of the 5 poured already. And the cold weather has just put a halt to the concrete pouring at this point in time. In the office area, the walls are currently being constructed, and then they're also running some electrical and plumbing in there as well. So they're starting to make some progress inside that portion. The rails for the mezzanine were being installed, and then the DT transformer lines are scheduled to be installed later this week or early next week, and that'll get the power so they can get away from the temporary heating. They'll be able to tie in a lot of the heating aspects and get away from the temporary units that they're using for those to power those up right now. Building department, Matt Baker, and the treasurer's office are working on with G2G to start accepting permit fee payments online. So this is one of the things that Matt had been working on with the transition from Dave Boomer and to his leadership there, and that'll allow for a lot of the contractors to be able to do a lot more remotely. And that's going to be a nice addition for them. I think that's something that almost expected anymore, and we're finally going to get with the 21st century and move that way. In our business developments, we gave an update last time on what was going on. And the one that I forgot and I wanted to add in, and we do have it going in the magazine as well, is the former Vitrino's brick oven pizza on Allen Road. As you know, is under construction right now. That's being converted into 3 office medical suites. I'm not too sure completely what's going to go in there just yet. It's a 6,000 square foot building, but I did have an email from Deputy Chief Can just prior to the meeting that he believes it will be possibly an oncologist offices in there. So we'll let you know as soon as we hear that, but we haven't heard anything yet. But that's he's in the know, and because he's in there doing it as an inspection. So I'm going to take that as it's the word there. So. And then just a real quick congratulations to Matt Baker. He'll be here celebrating his 25th, his 5th anniversary with us on February 16th. Matt has been a great addition to the city and even better addition to the administrative staff. Really, he fits in really well with everybody and workable, very workable. And if you do have any questions about the building department, do not hesitate to contact him. He's on top of that right away. And then just City Hall be closed here on Monday for President's Day. And I do need to put here, I got a sticky note and I see a hand raised because I need to allow Ed, Deputy Chief Can, I'm going to promote him over because he's got some good news on something he's been working on for quite a while. And he's extremely happy to announce today this information here. So Deputy Chief Can.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. I just wanted to ask Mark for a little bit of time. I got out of bed this morning and the first business text I received was from Superintendent Darga at Allen Park Public Schools. And for quite a while, I've been trying to find a school bus for our crews to work on and train on. And used, even derelict buses are thousands and thousands of dollars. And I've been able to find a donation. Well, Superintendent told me this morning that the school board went ahead and voted, I believe it was last night, on donating a decommissioned school bus to the Allen Park Fire Department. So that's excellent news, and we very much appreciate the community cooperation. He was very excited to do it. We will use it to train on vehicle extrication, the jaws of life, and so forth. If there's a terrible event of a school bus crash where we have to assist children in a crash, we'll work on lifting, stabilization of the vehicle, and I've reached out to Chief Egan in the event that they want to use it for some police SWAT or negotiating tactics in the school bus as well. So that'll be arriving soon. I'm sure Roy at the garage will be more than happy to help us out to make it safe to play with. And once again, thank you very much to Allen Park Public Schools for their kind donation. Thank you.
I want to say real quick, Deputy Chief Can's a real good sport here. Last Tuesday's department head meeting, he was in a, not his normal uniform, he was in a casual outer shell fire Deputy Chief jacket. And we took a poll on whether he looked good in that or his uniform. And I think overwhelmingly they want to see in your uniform. And I'm happy to see that he's in his uniform tonight. But he's a really good person on that. And we do appreciate that.
Oh, it was fun. I'm always up for a good time. And, you know, I was just promoting the staff and command jacket that I had on. It's kind of like the green jacket you get when you go to the Masters. So, you know, every once in a while I got to wear that in my belt to shake it up a little bit.
So as you see where you can do the question and answer, we have the poll item was up on the there. So we were able to throw a couple polls out there, and that was one of them. So we'll see what we can use for next time. We won't pick on that anymore, though. Thank you, Chief, Deputy Chief.
Thank you, Ted.
Mayor Council, that is my report. If there's any questions, I'll be happy to answer anything.
Questions, comments? If not, then may I have a motion to accept and file the city administrator's report?
Motion.
Motion by Syke.
Second, Valerius.
Second by Valerius, I think.
Yes.
Thank you. We have a motion by Syke, second by Valerius to accept and file the organizational report. Mike, can you take the roll call?
Thank you, Mayor. Shall this resolution pass? Councilman Lloyd,
Yes.
Mayor McLeod,
Yes.
Councilman Schlack,
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke,
Yes.
Councilman Valerius,
Yes.
Councilman Blevins,
Yes.
and Pro Tem Lally.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The motion is successful.
Thank you. And now we come to the public comment section of the meeting. And if anyone is out there in our attendees who would like to speak, we do ask that you limit it to 4 minutes and give us your name and the street on which you live. We do not want to have your full address. Other than that, we just ask that any comments be civil. And I'll let Mark take care of that.
Okay, got Mr. McClellan. Let me ask him to unmute real quick. Oh, there he
Hello?
goes. Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Thank you for Phoebe. And thank you, Member Cloud and Mark Kibbe, for answering my emails. And I read the proposal for the Allen Park Theater. I think you should go with do it as soon as you can. Thank you. Bye-bye.
So I think we missed the first portion there. I know Mayor McLeod and myself did receive an email from Mr. McClellan asking that for the moment of silence, and he had a couple questions on the demolition, which I responded back to him on those. I think that's what he was saying there. I'm not too sure which one he was recommending.
No, I read your letter from this on the agenda items. That it's on the Allen Park website.
Okay.
And I agree with you, Mr. Kibbe.
That's very unusual. I'm not used to that. So I think what
Brian said something about the sooner the better, and thank you, Brian.
I think that's what it was too. I think that's what I meant.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
We have any other attendees?
I don't see anybody else. Mostly department heads. And Council, you can see who's in the audience, right? You can click on the attendee section. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, Mayor, I do not see anybody else raising their hand.
Okay, then we'll close the public comment section. And thank you all again. May I have a motion to approve the consent agenda, which consists of purchasing actions, claims and accounts, and payroll, and finance actions with the finance overview, budget to actual report, balance sheet, and cash flow. Motion, please.
Madam Mayor, I'll make the motion.
Motion by Mr. Lally,
Support Blevins.
support by Blevins. Take the roll call, Mike.
All right, Mayor, I do have a motion by Pro Tem Lally, supported by Councilman Blevins. For the consent agenda, shall this resolution pass? Mayor McLeod?
Yes.
Councilman Schlack?
Yes.
Councilwoman Syke?
yes,
Councilman Valeris?
Yes.
Councilman Blevins?
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally?
Yes.
And Councilman Lloyd?
Yes.
The yeses have it. The resolution is successful.
Thank you. Resolution 1, to approve the fire department's request to purchase 1 heavy-duty gear washer and extractor and 1 heavy-duty gas dryer in the amount of $16,540, including hookups, from account number 101-000-932-002, and to waive the city bid process as there is no economic benefit since using the Michigan MITN system. May I have a motion, please?
motion,
Motion by Syke,
Second, Valerius.
second by Valerius. Questions, comments? I see that Deputy Chief Can is still here. If you'd like to kind of just briefly do an overview. Yes, Tony.
I'd just like to know, what is the heavy-duty gear washer?
Right, that's gonna fill us in on it.
That's a good question. I'm happy to fill you in, and again, good evening. So we've had an extractor and a heavy-duty dryer here as well since I started, and in fact, the current 2 that are here are over 25 years old, and they certainly don't owe us anything. So the extractor is a heavy-duty wash machine that has a high-speed spin cycle, but can hold heavy loads such as firefighter turnout gear. There's been a special emphasis in the fire service on cancer prevention. As some of you might know, firefighters are more prone to cancer, and several cancers they're much more prone to contract in their lifetime than the general public due to the exposure to toxins which are emitted in structure fires. So we require our firefighters to wash their gear after after every, excuse me, with the fire alarm, but after every structure fire, we have to wash our gear. The NFPA, or National Fire Protection Association, sets standards on how fast an extractor must spin in order for those toxins to be spun out of the gear. However, they also set limits on the speed so that it doesn't spin so fast as to destroy the fabric of the gear. The gear is very expensive, and we want it to last as long as possible. And more importantly, we don't want the seams to become weakened so that it fails in a structure fire under high heat. So that's what the extractor is for. And this particular one is NFPA approved and will wash up to 6 pieces, not 6 sets, but 6 pieces of the gear at a time, so that if we have a larger fire, people can get back into service more quickly. The current one we have it's been held together with duct tape and bubble gum. And the last time the service technician was out, it was about a year ago, and he said he doesn't think he's going to be able to save the patient next time he comes out. So it is, though, you know, we've talked about it at the fire department, and you guys have asked very good questions on capital planning. I think the chief has done a wonderful job over the last 5 years of creating a capital plan to replace things that were worn out, and it was a triage of what needs to be replaced first, what's most important, what's going to fail first, and so forth. And this was, in fact, on our budget to be replaced this year, this fiscal year. So it should be our final large scheduled fiscal year purchase for the fire department.
Well, thank you, Ed, for explanation.
You're welcome.
Chief.
My pleasure.
I just need to make one correction if I can. This should come out of account 401-000-932-002. It's a 401. It's a capital purchase.
Did I write 101?
No, I don't think so. I think it's 101 on the agenda, but it should be 401. If
Yeah.
it should be 401.
That's my fault. Sorry.
DC can you knock on some wood? Here's for no unscheduled purchases.
Amen. We're dealing with an old building, but I think we've done a lot here. So
You got any bubble gum left over?
yeah, well, I like to do it, not use it to fix things.
Okay, we had if there's no further questions, we had a motion by Councilwoman Syke, seconded by Councilman Valerius to approve the fire department purchase with the slight correction on the account number being 401. If you'll take vote on that, Mike?
All right. As you stated, there was a motion. I'm not going to redo the resolution, but there was a motion by Councilwoman Syke, supported by Councilman Valerius, about the extractor with the a change of account numbers. Shall this resolution pass? Councilman Schlack.
Yes.
Councilman Syke.
Yes.
Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
Councilman Blevins.
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally. Pro Tem Lally.
Be frozen.
He's frozen.
Yes.
There he goes.
And Mayor McLeod.
Yes.
The yeses have it. The resolution successful.
Okay, moving on to resolution 2, a resolution to accept the grant from the Downriver Community Conference, DCC, Downriver Area Brownfield Consortium in the amount of $110,000 for a hazardous materials assessment survey for asbestos abatement, $10,000, and for demolition of the building, $100,000. May I have a motion?
Madam Mayor, I
Motion
make the
by
motion.
Mayor Pro Tem Lally. Second by, what have I got here? Lots of hands up. Mr. Schlack, thank you. Questions? Discussion?
I'm sorry, I might have missed this from the work session. So if I did, I apologize. Are we still? Are you going to answer my question before I answer it? Do you know what I'm going to say?
Oh, go ahead.
I'm just curious because I know that we had talked about a partial demolition. So is that something that's still on the table, or is it an all or nothing kind of thing?
That is correct, Councilman. I mentioned that I had received a question and email from you this morning. And so what we'll be doing in the format there is we'll request 3 portions of three different bids and alternates on it. So one would be a full building demolition. One would be a partial demolition, leaving about 3,000 square feet. And the third alternate or the second alternate, I guess, whatever number would be leaving about 5,000. I mentioned earlier, working with Matt Baker in the building department, he had recognized some areas that there were some walls that could be the break points at. And then what we'll do is when we come back to do the award, we'll be able to do like an overhead and show you what we're talking about, what will be left in those aspects.
Awesome, thank you.
And then, as I mentioned in here, just a real quick brief, we had a conversation with the MEDC, myself and Joe Cuvier, the mayor, and just trying to see what would be the best alternative there. A lot of times, and I maybe mentioned this in that workshop, sometimes you don't want to do something to do a demolition and then you lose the opportunity to get the grant dollars from the MEDC. In this case, it appeared through those conversations that the money that they would be able to gap funding for a project would be for this exact type of work, demolition, asbestos removal. So we already have a grant in hand, and we could be 2-3 years down the road before we have a developer ready to go, that building would be standing. I know I just can't, Ed is still in this portion of the meeting, that I know he would jump in and say that's got to be a concern to his, it's a concern of mine. I know it's probably a concern of all of yours, that that anything happens there, it could be very disastrous. So the sooner we can take action to do a demolition of some sort, I think the better off we would be, and that is my recommendation. And that would be to accept the grant from the DCC. And there are possibilities when they were talking in the pre-meeting for Councilman Lloyd there, a possibility that we may be able to go back and ask the DCC for more funding. This was set up as a grant. It is the funds that we're going to be using are actually funds that they've received for loan payoffs of other projects, but we will be using it. It's being sent to us as a grant, so there's no payback on this money, and the possibility we could go and ask for some additional funds, depending on how those bids come in at the time there. But we want to tell them, yes, we're going to move forward, so they will lock those dollars up for us.
Are there any other questions? I would just add, because I sat in on that meeting, and of course I took lots of notes. One of the things that was very clear in our discussion with the gentleman from the MEDC was that this was kind of on a maybe basis. So we looked at it as, we've got this $110,000 grant that we know for sure. There was a lot of uncertainty regarding the MEDC, and even during the discussion, it was stated that a lot of the programs are changing. One of the programs we were looking at had come into existence a few years ago, but they're reassessing. So it was kind of like, I'm not much of a gambler. I like the sure thing, and this is a sure thing. So if anybody has any doubts about it, I would, hopefully that would be laid to rest. So, and also, it does not preclude us or a developer contacting the MEDC in the future and seeing what's available at that time. It's not as though we're going to be completely shut out from that. So, all right, there's no other discussion. If we could take a roll call, Mike?
All right, Mayor, I have a motion by Pro Tem Lally, supported by Councilman Schlack, about the DCC Brownfield grant there. Shall this resolution pass? Councilwoman Syke?
Yes.
Councilman Valerius?
Yes.
Councilman Blevins?
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally?
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd?
Yes.
Mayor McLeod?
Yes.
And Councilman Schlack?
Yes.
The yeses have it. The resolution passes.
Thank you. Resolution 3, to authorize the administration to seek bids for the demolition of the Allen Park Theater. Motion, please.
Motion Blevins.
Motion by Blevins.
Second, Valerius.
Second by Valerius. Questions or discussion?
I just want to quickly say that us as council, we've had many conversations about this project starting, even with Economic Development Committee, that the decisions we've made to move forward on these two resolutions was not without a heavy heart. Especially, I can't speak for everyone in council, but I can speak personally for myself, that this building has a lot of memories of my childhood. So we're not just doing this to rush it. We definitely have looked at a lot of avenues, and we feel this is the best decision considering, most importantly, the safety of our city and the future of our city, because we're not going to be a great city if we don't keep on moving forward.
There you go. I agree.
Okay, if there's no further comments or discussion, take the vote. Michael?
All right, Mayor, I have a motion by Blevins, supported by Valerius, for the demolition of the Allen Park Theater. Shall this resolution pass? Councilman Valerius?
Yes.
Councilman Blevins?
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally?
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd?
Yes.
Mayor McLeod?
Yes.
Councilman Schlack?
Yes.
And Councilwoman Syke?
Yes.
The yeses have it. The resolution is successful.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to council comments, and tonight Matthew starts out.
Oh, all right. Just wanted to thank all my fellow council members and you, Madam Mayor, as well as Mr. Kibbe, all the city workers, everything else. I know it's been quite the month, especially for our DPS with the multiple water main breaks and everything else going on with the amount of work that they've got going on. You know, it seems like it's one after the other. It's you know, I talked last council meeting about the two water main breaks in my neighborhood, and then I think it wasn't even a couple days later I was driving in front of the New Varan Funeral Home, and they were out there digging up the street out in front of the Varan Funeral Home. So I mean, I know they've been extremely busy. Definitely not the best situation to work under. I'm a big fan of winter, as I've vocalized many times before, but I definitely feel their pain with regards to working in this type of weather, you know, with the freezing temperatures and also with the water and the mud and everything else they got going on. So I want to thank them. I also want to extend my thanks to Mr. Baker for your 5 years of service to the city of Allen Park. It's been a pleasure working with you and as a councilman since joining council. And really in light of everything you know else going on, you know, as Dan can testify, the work of us teachers continues to move forward. My wife did receive word that she's probably going to be going back actually into the building. She has not been in the building the entire school year since, you know, the start of the school year. So Dearborn's currently working a plan to actually offer a hybrid model beginning on March 1st. So I think the one person, or one, not even a person, the one feature in our home that's going to probably suffer the most is our dog. You know, she's gotten so spoiled with us being home for like almost a year straight, with you know, not having to be locked in her crate or in the basement or anything else. She's definitely going to be going through some serious withdrawals for sure. So we might have to put her on some meds or something. I'm not sure, but just to soothe her transition to going from someone being home all day to you know, us not being around. Just you know, I want to keep it fairly short tonight. I just wanted to share. I've got you know, I love poetry. I'm a fan of poetry. I've got so many favorite authors, but I wanted to kind of focus this council meeting as well as next council meeting on a couple of my favorites in celebration of Black History Month. I turned to one of my favorites, Langston Hughes, just a short poem by him that kind of you know, inspires me in light of trying to stay, you know, with the Charles Blevins positivity theme out there, and it's entitled Dreams. It says, "Hold fast to dreams, for if dreams die, life is a broken winged bird that cannot fly. Hold fast to dreams, for when dreams go, life is a barren field frozen with snow." So just inspires me in regards to for our dreams to continue believing in them, continue chasing our dreams, and to continue remaining as positive as we can with when faced with a whole lot of negativity. So with that, I wish everyone a great night, a great rest of the week, and I yield my time. Thank you.
My lips are moving. Gary?
I thought it was my turn, but I
Yeah.
don't want to speak out of turn. I'll just be quick and say I want to thank all the city workers for everything they have done, especially with the wonderful snow. I know our good friend Matt Polaris loves the snow, as he's made it well aware in previous meetings. But for the most of us, I think generally we like it sunny and green outside.
Yeah.
So I wanted to tell everyone to definitely stay warm, and if you have any trouble with your heating or anything, definitely don't just sit in a cold house, especially if you know anyone that's older that have that issue and say, oh, I'll be fine, it'll kick on. Just definitely don't let them freeze. And other than that, we are still in this pandemic. I know I say that every other council meeting it feels like, but the light is at the end of the tunnel, and I want to encourage you, if you are within the parameters, to get vaccinated. I encourage you to get vaccinated. That's the only way we're going to get out of this pandemic and be healthy and safe and sound, so we can all get back to some form of normalcy, whatever that will be. I'm a believer that it will never be like it once was, but that's what life is, changing. And I think we ultimately will change in the best direction. And I do want to say one more time again that the decisions we've made with the theater were not made lightly. And if you have any questions, concerns, please feel free to reach out to the city or myself personally. I'd be happy to discuss that with you and go into greater detail. And other than that, I want to wish everyone a happy Valentine's Day this coming Sunday. Yes, Sunday. And especially to my lovely wife, Bridget. I love you dearly. And thank you for everything that you have given me. And other than that, I'll see everyone in 2 weeks. I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Charles?
I'll try to be short and sweet, just like me. But happy Black History Month with February. Also, happy Valentine's Day to everyone. My bow tie today has little hearts on them for Valentine's Day. Try and keep that theme of things in each month. I want to say thank you to Parks and Rec and the city for making the community center for a warm center for this season. It's like for someone, I work outside, and then this week especially, like at night and during the evening, it can feel like it's in the negatives, and so it's wonderful that we're participating in that. Also, the Historical Commission is still collecting bottle caps or soda caps, the plastic caps for making some benches. If they filled 2.5 garbage bins full of caps, that's one bench. So it's a great thing for the community to bring, yes, Gatorade, yes, and then you can take them to the historical house. They do have a garbage bin. If you want to put them in like a Ziploc bag, it helps out keeping it organized. But they do have a bin there to help collect them. Also, keep supporting the small businesses with all the restaurants opening. And then today is National Pizza Day, so go out and get a slice of pizza or pizza somewhere. But keep supporting small business, keeping Allen Park strong, and let's just keep getting the job done. And I yield my time. Thank you.
Thank you. Tony?
Yes, thank you. First, I want to thank the chief for giving us an update on the quick response team. I think it's a good thing, and there's positive things about that. And I want to thank the city workers for doing an excellent job on the streets this year, this winter. They're doing a heck of a job. Thank you for them and all the people that support them. And you know, I got a lot of calls from a lot of people that are very happy to see the next garbage pickup, GFL, and they're wanna see them so bad. So I don't know, that's good. That's good, because I could see that today when they were picking up garbage. Those guys are something else. But anyway, they're happy about that. And my condolences goes to Phoebe Elliott. So sorry for that. And I understand that our police department volunteered to take him from Woodhaven, help out to the Memorial Cemetery, and they're doing it voluntarily. We don't have to pay them. I want to thank them for all they do. We appreciate it. Our police department and fire department are the greatest in Allen Park. And thank you, Dan, Ed, Ken, for explaining the stuff that you do, and I'm sure you'll be a good chief. I know you will. And we are having, I want to announce a couple of things that's happening in the community. We're having a food drive again at 409, American Legion 409, March the 26th. This is just a reminder, from 10 to 2, they go together with the Gleaners. They're going to give out 500 pounds of food, 40-pound boxes of food each, with the help of the state police and our CERT team to take care of the traffic. Appreciate that. Thank you very much. And I will announce that again prior to. And I just want to say a couple things. All the clubs are open now, 25% for capacity. And Knights of Columbus is having a chicken cacciatore dinner on February 24th, and it'd be CDC, whatever, you know. Nothing will be, all the food will be served from the kitchen. Nobody could go there and pick their own, okay, like we used to, not anymore. But 6 to the table, and that's $12. Chicken cacciatore, I'm gonna make the sauce, and I'm gonna do chicken and the sauce. Hopefully to see you there. And it starts at 5 till 8. I know Mayor McLeod will be there for sure. Mayor? Anyway, thank you. And everybody have a good evening. Stay safe. I got my 2 shots now. I guess I'm okay, but still, you have to be safe. You go out, you better put a mask on, because that's the way it is. It's nothing, we're so used to it now. When I leave the house, if I don't have the mask, I won't leave the house. I have to have one in my pocket, one in my jacket pocket, because you never know when you need it. I want to say thank you, and I yield my time to the next speaker.
Thank you. Dan?
So this has been a very challenging week for the community, and it's been a very challenging week for the Allen Park Schools community. So I'm very thankful, Pastor Trussell, for your very wise words and leading us in prayer in the beginning of the meeting today. And Mayor McLeod, as always, thank you for your leadership and leading us in a moment of silence. I did not have the good fortune of meeting Phoebe, but like the mayor's, it's a big family, so I know her older brother and the Caps. When things are unreasonable and it's difficult to process such chaotic things, I think that we all kind of fall back on the lessons of our childhood. And for me, that is kind of a twofold. In my head, I heard the Birds, the song, and Turn, 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 and the line from Ecclesiastes, for everything there's a season, a time for every activity under heaven.
Right.
And I can't help I can't help but to think as I'm going back and I'm looking at that particular passage, the things that fall into that list, a time to sow, a time to reap, a time for war, a time for peace, a time to kill, a time to heal, and a time to die, a time to be born. Those are all the activities that an ancient community, a biblical community, would enter in together. Those are the things that they would do together as a community. And I really, that's what I take away from that message, is that is the strength of a community. That those are the things that we engage in together, and they are difficult things. It's not a year goes by, and unfortunately it doesn't seem a month or two goes by that we don't suffer a loss. And it hurts. Whether you knew the person specifically, or you just, you like the mayor, you missed your paper the next morning, or you just see the others around you grieving. That is a difficult thing that we all go through. But the beauty of this community and many communities is that we go through them together, and then we have each other to lean on. And another passage and it just strikes me as being appropriate for today, another passage from there is a time to tear down and a time to build up, which again, the decisions that we make together here as a council. So with that in mind, I just want to not just thank my fellow council members, but to thank my entire community for when we go through these difficult times that we have each other to lean on, that we have our community and our backbone to go back to. And with that, I do want to leave with a positive note and taking inspiration from my fellow Councilman Valerius, as I so often do. He sparked my favorite Langston Hughes poem, The Dreamkeeper. Bring me all your dreams, you dreamers. Bring me all your heart melodies, that I may wrap them in a blue cloud cloth away from the too rough fingers of the world. Thank you so much, and I yield.
Thank you. Pam?
Yes. I'd like to say thank you to my daughter, who's not here right now. Normally she comes because she is one of those teachers who are teaching from online. And the reason why she's not here is she's had a lot of things to do concerning, there was a death at the high school in Belleville. There was some children that were in a car accident and died. So it's a terrible loss, a loss to the community. And I'd like for everyone to kind of keep them in the prayers too. It's snowing. This is Michigan. We need to take care of how we drive and drive slower and pay attention to all those things. So with that, I don't have much more to say. It's been a rough day. And anyway, thank you very much. And thank all my council members. They're great people. I feel so blessed that we are all together and that we are the council that we are. With that, I yield my time.
Thank you. Michael, did you want to make any comments?
Just like to thank everybody for coming out tonight. God bless you and good night.
Thanks, Mike. I'll keep it brief. Glad that Matthew and Dan referenced Langston Hughes. I'm pretty sure in a bookshelf in my office, I've got a book of his poetry, which I'll have to pull out. There's one that the lines run around in my mind. I have to confirm it's him and not someone else, but I've got a couple of books of poetry there. And I've got another favorite book that I'll have to reference again, and that's The Prophet by Khalil Gibran, which I have loved for a long time and gave to each of my kids when they graduated from high school and to my grandchildren when they graduated. Very brief sayings by that gentleman, some of them quite succinct. Mostly, I'm hopeful that many of you have been able to obtain your vaccinations. We are in the city communicating with the county, state, federal, to make sure that we don't miss anyone. I know that our fire department has been in touch with the Maple Heights community. I sit in on conference calls for the 12th district every Monday, and I can tell you that our representative Dingle is not very happy with either the federal, the state, or the county, and has indicated a few times in rather bold language her unhappiness with the with what is not happening, and she's very concerned about the citizens, and so we continue to provide information for her to use in some of these discussions. We know that some individuals don't have internet access. If you happen to have a neighbor who you know is an older individual who does not access the internet, may not see some of the information coming out, please be a good neighbor and make sure that they remain well informed and get information that may be critical to them. I think, you know, mainly, you know, like a lot of others, like most of you probably, I get just as antsy and frustrated at having to continue to go through what we're going through, but we have to look at this as something long-term. We will eventually get through it. Things will be different. Some things will go back to normal. But I think that we're also finding that there may be some hidden positives in that we learn how to do things differently. Perhaps families are getting a little closer just by having to be together and entertain themselves. My last closing thought is that, you know, I understand individuals that want to have fun. We've all gone through periods in our lifetime where we've gone out, we've liked to party and do different things. And I don't have a problem with people having fun. But don't let your fun become a disaster for you and particularly for others. So all anyone is asking is that once you've gone out and had your fun, if you're even slightly impaired, if there's any question in your mind due to drinking or other reasons, please do not drive. Call a friend, call a relative, call Uber or a taxi. Just don't get into your vehicle and kill someone, because I personally am so tired of reading people who have no business being behind the wheel of a car, and they not only kill someone, but they devastate a family and a community. It doesn't need to happen. Just be responsible. And with that, I'll take a motion to adjourn.
Motion, Blevins.
Motion by Blevins.
Second.
Second by Syke. Michael?
All right, Mayor, I have a motion by Blevins, supported by Councilwoman Syke, to adjourn the meeting at 6:56 PM. Councilman Blevins.
Yes.
Pro Tem Lally.
Yes.
Councilman Lloyd.
Yes.
Mayor McLeod.
Yes.
Councilman Schlack.
You're muted, Gary.
Yes.
Sorry. And Councilman Valerius.
Yes.
All right. We are adjourned at 6:57.
You didn't catch me.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry, Councilman Syke.
Yes.
He doesn't want to adjourn.
I'm so sorry about that.
I miss you guys. I miss you guys so much. So, you know, I don't want to adjourn.
Well, everyone take care and have a great week.
You